Welcome to the PlanetLaundry Podcast. In this edition of the podcast, we chat with Mark Vlaskamp, the managing partner at the Folde, a pickup and delivery focused laundry service based in the Houston and Austin, Texas markets. Mark discusses some of the factors laundromat operators should consider before attempting to start a pickup and delivery service, how today's technology is impacting the wash-dry fold business, recent trends that could affect the industry down the road, and much more. He also shares his thoughts on recently being elected to the Coin Laundry Association's Board of Directors, as well as where the biggest opportunities for laundromat owners may lie in the future. The PlanetLaundry Podcast is brought to you by PlanetLaundry, the magazine of the Coin Laundry Association. This is the PlanetLaundry Podcast. My name is Bob Nieman, and I'm the editor of PlanetLaundry magazine. And today I'm with Mark Vlaskamp, the managing partner at the Folde. The Folde is a pickup and delivery focused laundry service based in the Houston and Austin, Texas markets. The company operates self-service laundromats that double as overnight production facilities for its pickup and delivery service. Mark is one of the industry's preeminent experts on pickup and delivery, and he's also one of the newest members of the Coin Laundry Association's Board of Directors. Hey, Mark, thanks for being here today.
Hey, Bob, how are you? Great to finally meet.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'm super excited to talk with you today about wash, dry, fold, and pickup and delivery, and just all things full service laundry, basically, because it seems like everybody is talking about this segment of the industry right now. They have been for a while, and especially since the most recent Clean Show this past summer in Atlanta, with all the great technology and products coming out and some of the terrific educational sessions that we had on, just the full service segment and pickup and delivery. So, and you're the person to talk to. So again, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. But what I'd like to do is just kind of maybe get a little history and a little background on the Folde, because I know that's an interesting story. So if you don't mind, if you would just kind of bring us up to speed on the Folde.
Yeah, absolutely. It is exciting that delivery is all the talk these days. It hasn't always been like that. It's great. The Folde started, about 2017 had the idea for pickup and delivery laundry. It was a novel idea back then. This was early rinse days. 2U laundry was just getting started as well. We took a lot of inspiration from them, but delivery laundry wasn't common. We didn't own laundromats, and we went to all the laundromats in Austin and asked if we brought them orders, would they fill the orders for us? We needed somewhere to do laundry or someone to do it for us. And the idea, it's hard to imagine now, but the idea was so foreign that most said no. Those that did say yes couldn't keep up or didn't want to allocate resources to it. So we, on one hand, on the demand side, we saw tons of customers, and these customers were compounding, recurring in nature. Seemed like a great business model for us. But on the supply side of the equation, we had no one to do the laundry. And those that could do the laundry didn't want to put the TLC into it to retain those customers. So we started our journey into laundromats. When we started, we had no idea it would bring us into the actual laundromat themselves, but ended up experimenting with laundromats, doubling as production facilities, and fell in love with laundromats. And so now we're the business model is based in laundromats that double as production facilities for pickup and delivery orders.
Right. And you guys have been around since 2017, I want to say?
Ish. Yeah. There's tons of different variations to it. It certainly has picked up more speed lately.
Okay.
It was founded by a bunch of college buddies. So you can imagine those first couple of years, it was either we were college buddies at a bar hanging out, or we were brothers fighting. There wasn't a whole lot of business, but yeah, technically formed all the LLCs and everything in 2017. Really started snowballing in the last couple of years when A, we learned how to do laundry, and B, we also learned how to run a business together. Right.
Absolutely. Trial by fire. Again, it is popular. People are talking about it. What questions do laundromat owners need to be asking themselves before entering even the wash, dry, fold business? What are some key questions and key things that they need to get ironed out before, setting foot into that arena?
Yeah, it's not the same business. It's very much a separate business that operates with the same machinery in the same facility. We think we get double utilization out of the facility because of it, but it's a different business. So you do need to ask yourself, on one hand, the kind of the pessimistic side is, do I want to deal with this high touch, high management, high logistics, high liability type business? And those are easy to kind of be a pessimist about and maybe not get behind. I think on the other hand, from the optimistic side is, looking at your laundromat, is this performing how I want it to perform? Is this facility going to pay for my family to eat, my kids to go to college? Am I really generating any real enterprise value, or am I going to sell for a 3 times multiple for the plumbing and electrical infrastructure? I think those are the questions you need to ask. Where do you think the industry is growing? Where do you think your customers are going to be doing laundry in 10 years? There's a bit of a biased slant to put on it. I have my own opinions there, but I think those are real questions to ask. It's certainly a great business, but it's not for everybody, right? The restaurant business is a good business, but I'm not going anywhere near it. So it's something you need to kind of ask yourself and see what you like.
Right. Again, it's not for everyone, and certainly another sub segment of that has been recently the pickup and delivery service. On top of that residential pickup and delivery, which has been aided by technology and the new products out there, and a lot of people are considering it. What absolutely must be considered before even attempting something like that? Because that's really an entirely different business, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And residential, commercial's easy. It's not rocket science. It's a little bit more of a commodity game. It's a longer sales cycle. It's certainly where we see most people get in. We like to kind of diversify a bit. I like the residential a lot because they're much less price sensitive, and they tend to be great lifetime value customers, where a commercial client will jump from provider to provider to trying to get cheapest rate. We find these, just like the guy that mows my lawn or cleans the pool. Like, I found him once, and I'm never going anywhere else. It doesn't matter what he charges. We like him. He's good. And that's kind of the relationship we're trying to build, that classic home services business model type approach to recurring customers.
Okay. Yeah. So certainly the homeowners and the residential folks are more brand loyal to something like that.
Yeah, I think so too. And so, considering once you decide you want to move into pickup and delivery, considering which market you're going to target is huge, right? There's residential and commercial as a fork in the road, but I think within those, there's another fork in the road that says, I'm going to cater to the highest end of the socioeconomic spectrum, and the other says I'm going to cater to the middle or the lower end. And with delivery getting as popular as it is, it's not just a rich customer's game anymore. Everybody is looking for delivery laundry. So There's plenty of subsets within that on the commercial and the residential side.
Right. That's a great point. You need to kind of decide what you want to be.
Yeah. For the longest time, we had, there wasn't a ton of competition. And so we had a lot of inbound coming to us, and we couldn't decide if we were going to be a steakhouse or a hamburger stand, because we had half the customers were coming in asking for steak and half the customers were coming in asking for hamburgers. So we found our niche eventually and priced ourselves and changed our operation to be more of that steakhouse menu order. But yeah, there's plenty of range in that spectrum. If you're jumping into pickup and delivery, just because there's 1 or 2 other providers in town doesn't mean it's saturated.
Right. Certainly. But certainly things you need to consider in conversations you need to have with your ownership team on things like that. Absolutely. Well, again, I brought up the Clean Show and just some of the technology that is evolving so quickly. How is today's tech impacting the wash, dry, fold business just overall? I guess basically maybe on the drop off side, and then also on the pickup and delivery side. How does technology change the game?
Yeah, it certainly helps. When we first started, we had a pen and paper manifest, and we had a Google document that we would operate off of. We had one guy at a computer calling dispatch to another guy's cell phone to tell him where to go to pick up orders. So technology helps. I think the easy answer there is the operating systems, the pickup and delivery software is improving. We use StartUp. We have our fingerprints all over that, but they're all great, and they're all seem to be adding features and adding customers like crazy. I think the more nuanced answer might be tech around labor. Labor and hiring is incredibly hard, and it kind of has reverse scale as you get bigger. We're finding some interesting tools and building some interesting software tools and tech tools around hiring and labor. It's relatively easy-ish to get orders in. It's really hard to get folks in to do those orders and to get them trained up, to get them through the HR process all the way, to an eventual termination or them leaving, right? Most people use this as a stepping stone. So what tech and tools can facilitate that, not only for us, the employer, but also for the employee who just needs a night job, right? Who needs some extra hours and is using it as something to work instead of driving an Uber, right? Or delivering for DoorDash. They're going to come in a nice laundromat and fold laundry for 6 to 8 hours, a couple of days a week. So I think the technology around labor is exciting. And I think that is growing like the pickup and delivery software is. I also think that the data and the technology around the data is really interesting. We hit on it earlier, but you're starting to be able to really track conversions and see demographics that are ordering more or less, and the pros and cons of going after this versus that neighborhood. That's only decreasing customer acquisition costs and saving us a lot of money, and that's important now. But it's also it's making our messages more clear and making our messages kind of resonate more because we know who we're talking to and we know what they want.
Right, right. And it's making your decisions a lot easier, I would think, a lot more clear cut.
Yeah,
because you know what
absolutely.
you're looking at. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't make the laundry, getting the laundry done any easier, but we'll take any leg up we can get.
Right. Absolutely. Well, you brought up labor, and that's a huge trend. It's something we've been dealing with in the industry for at least a year now. But what are some other recent trends maybe that you see taking hold, or you see maybe will eventually take hold that may impact the full service laundry business?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how national they are, but I can kind of speak to the trends we're seeing within our walls. We're seeing, my answer to this 6 months ago would have probably been really different. We're seeing an economy tighten up. We're seeing bread and gas and eggs cost more. So maybe the disposable income that families used to spend on luxury services isn't getting spent as much anymore. So we're finding a tightening up of those customers, and we're really spending a lot of focus on the conversion funnels we have. 6 months ago, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. Hey, you want delivery laundry? Come get it. Let's raise the price and see how high we can go. It's not like that anymore. Money's not flowing around the economy like it used to, and people are being more selective on what they spend on. So it's challenged us to kind of get a tighter, get that message more efficient, come up with new ways to get attention in that funnel. We're seeing the same number of signups, just with less conversion. So the focus is now, it's really on, hey, these people are at least thinking about it. What are new creative ways or different mediums we can get in front of them, right? Maybe that blog post isn't working. It needs to be a TikTok video, things like that to make it more efficient and more direct. We're seeing that, reality probably isn't as tough to convert as it is today, but it certainly wasn't as easy to convert as it was 6 months ago. So
Right.
reality is hopefully somewhere in between, but this will hone our skills for when we enter back into a better economy.
Right. It's certainly helping you tweak the business and again, tighten up, like you say. So,
right.
Absolutely.
And that's from the residential front. From the commercial front, a trend we're seeing, is these companies, just like us, they're feeling everything tighten up a little bit, and they're getting selective about their spending. So maybe they're price shopping. A couple cents per pound is enough to get them to jump providers. That's a trend we're seeing, and we're kind of combating that trend by working on contracts and trying to find creative ways to force retention among sizable contracts. No one wants to lose a big account because the competitor down the road undercut them by 4 cents a pound. So finding ways that we can work with them and get them on annual contracts kind of protects any speed bumps that could come from the economy in between.
Very good. Great points. Hey, Mark, in a recent PlanetLaundry article that you were kind enough to write for us, you had mentioned some really great operating procedures for pickup and delivery. Basically, it's like, hey, you're not delivering pizza, you're delivering laundry, and that's a completely different thing. And you had mentioned the importance of, basically documenting everything and taking photographs and kind of covering your trail. Do you mind maybe sharing, better than I have, those protocols just a little bit with the viewers here?
Yeah, if we want to get into specifics, we can. The general trend is the service is happening in so many different spots that you have to document it. We have order flow from our end is a driver picks it up, warehouser checks it in, warehouser moves it to one side. Warehouser number 2 moves it to the facility, then inbound loader touches it, then outbound loader touches it, then at least one folder touches it, then another warehouser moves it to the ready racking position. And that's even before it gets delivered back to the customer where another driver delivers it back, right? So lots of touches. That means everybody needs like one job only, and it needs to be a clear communication, clear documentation on what to do. So we have everything documented. We use Notion, but any kind of documentation tool you can. Our folks' job is not just to come in and do laundry. It's to come in, do laundry, and document that one thing you did that you never think will happen again, just in case it happens again.
Right.
So some specifics. Yesterday we had a this is, pick the day. There's a different one every day. But yesterday we had got a call from our logistics manager. He handles all the drivers. Hey, we had a customer who lived at address A. We checked it in. She moved to address B without telling us. We delivered to address A, and now the clothes are missing. What do we do? Right? Sounds like a pretty obscure problem, but that happened to us a year and a half ago. So we had the scripts made out I said, hey, go look in the Notion document. It's there. He knew what to tell the customer. Our drivers knew what to do, where to go check, and we already had the protocol in place. So it's niche things like that if you detail everything out, it's going to seem obsessive at first until it happens again, and you don't have to answer your phone as the owner. It gets resolved without you.
And then you're prepared for that. Absolutely.
Right. But photos, protocols, everything. Right. Sorry to interrupt.
Right.
Photos, protocols, everything that seems excessive. There is no too excessive. And the software companies are getting really, really good at this. They're incorporating all of these protocols into what they deliver you now. So you don't have to build systems on your own as a pickup and delivery operator. You just need to understand how the software works.
Right. No, I was just going to say that, and certainly photographing is a big thing. You're very detailed in that and making sure everything gets photographed along the way, as you say.
Absolutely.
So any other procedures just off the top of your head, wash, dry, fold, pickup and delivery that are important for operators to remember? Any other protocols?
Yeah, I mean, we hit on in that article. We hit on the drivers on the folders. We have we have two subsets of laundry mat job. The first is loaders that they just handle in the machines, out of the machines, and the second is folders. So for loaders and folders both, we have very similar protocols. Pictures, barcode scans, a backup sheet of paper you're writing it on, and timestamps that'll match up with the camera system, right? So something funny happens, we go and we know exactly what time you were at what machine and whose order you were loading, and we can see that one sock drop on the floor. Things like that really help. I think the gist there, and you can make a protocol up for anything. I think the gist there is that laundry employees, at least in my opinion, for the longest time, they got blamed for a lot. And it's probably not their fault. They didn't really have a ton of systems in place. They just got thrown a ton of laundry at them and said, hey, do it. Like, you're going to make a mistake. So I think it's the owner's responsibility to make sure the infrastructure's in place to support them. Like, it's very similar to the housekeeper that stole my watch, right? It's the laundry attendant that stole my jeans. Like, no one stole your watch. You misplaced your watch. But if the housekeeper had a photo documentation process, or we had weigh in, weigh out, or we had a piece count, or we had a camera system timed to the exact minute, we could prove that you lost your watch. You lost your favorite pair of jeans. It wasn't us. And I think that helps employee retention. It changes the stigma around the service business. I think it really helps the employees a lot. No one wants to get blamed for any of that.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, by contrast, what are some common mistakes to avoid? Some common mistakes that you've seen with full service operations and pickup and delivery, and any mistakes that really you should really avoid?
I think it's a lot of people's first instinct, and I'm guilty of it too. So excuse me from being on the soapbox, but trying to do too much when you first start. Customizations for laundry orders, they add tons of complexity. Whether it's hang this, hang dry that, deliver this wrapped separately from this. I want my sheets paired by bed instead of distribution style. The more customizations I think you make at first, the harder you're making the path ahead, and the harder you're going to make it to scale. I think that's a mistake a lot of people get into early on. It's one we certainly did, and one that I regret. The faster you standardize things and the faster you start saying no to picky customers, the faster you're going to scale and the more profitable it's going to be.
Right. That's a great tip. Hey, do you have any advice for owners who are looking to promote their business, specifically the pickup and delivery services? How do you guys promote it? What has been working well for you? But what would you suggest?
I think, and we can get into the tips and everything here in a minute. I think my general thought on that is it's significantly harder than it used to be. Laundromat operators looking to get into laundry delivery aren't just competing against the laundromat operator down the block. They're likely competing against one or two, venture-backed delivery-only firms that's servicing the area. They're likely competing against a couple venture-backed pairing agencies to get laundry delivery customers. There's a lot of competition, and these folks are well-funded, and because they don't have to know how to do the laundry, they're really good at marketing. So it's a lot harder than it used to be. That said, there's a lot of people searching for it. So the pie has grown bigger. Finding a strategy and sticking to it for an extended period of time is my tip. You choose that strategy yourself. We are very Google centric. We don't even consider other marketing avenues right now. We drive everything into one thing because we know that if we don't put the blinders on, we're going to go start chasing Valhalla and trying to do a little bit of everything and totally drive down our efficiencies. So that's probably my advice. I don't know that Google's the way to go. I'm letting you guys choose that, but we dive everything into Google and promote there, and that's it. Guerrilla tactics too, as you're getting started. Like, don't go in and thinking you're going to compete with these behemoths, on a digital front. I think if you need to get the snowball rolling downhill, go do some non-scalable things that the big VC-funded companies can't. Go hand out flyers, talk to your customers in store, cold call commercial customers, do the stuff that doesn't scale, because you get a couple of those. They're reoccurring in nature, and they will start compounding. Then you have the marketing budget to experiment and get a little more creative.
Right. Build a little momentum.
I think so. Momentum is exciting, and that'll get you motivated. But a lot of these pay-per-click advertising type funnels, they can eat your money real fast if you don't know what you're doing. So pair with a specialist and get the momentum rolling downhill, and then know who you're competing against, and maybe do what they can't do.
Well, in the last 5 or so years, in what important ways has the Folde evolved? Because 5 years is that's an eternity these days.
It is. It feels like it. We're always changing. I think the most important thing is to stay in the game. Stay profitable. Don't grow at all costs. We're finding this in the downturn now. Like, there was a lot of companies come and go trying to grow at all costs and lose money. A laundromat business at its heart is this cash flow machine that should be highly profitable. Why would people get too far from that by entering into delivery? And then the models will change. We've evolved so much over the years. We've gone into subscriptions. We've gone highly commercial. We've bounced highly residential. We've bought and sold multiple. We're finding that right now bigger is better and less facilities is better if they're bigger. But there was times where we were going and trying to buy smaller facilities because it was the store count that you wanted. So always evolving. I think that changes with the economy. It changes with customer demand. And it certainly changes as we scale. It's been really nice to hire specialists to run the operation. They do a much better job than me.
Mm-hmm. Right. How many facilities do you have right now?
Right now we're at 2. We're at 2 monsters. They're big ones.
Okay.
One's over 10,000 square feet, and one's about 7,800, 8,000. So we've downsized in count and upsized in size.
Perfect. Very good.
Yeah, there's a lot of with pickup and delivery. Probably where it's different from self-service only is that there's a lot of headaches and employees and confusion and everything. The more you can consolidate that into one building with 1 or 2 managers, we found it really helps.
Right. Keep it all kind of condensed and self-contained.
Mm-hmm. It hurts a lot less when somebody doesn't show up for work if you have 20 other people there to cover.
Absolutely, I bet. Well, hey, as I mentioned, you are one of the newest members of the CLA's Board of Directors, so congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's exciting.
Yeah. Let me know. Share with us, what interested you in serving on the board. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's easy. His name's Ken Barrett. When we were starting out, this was the time in the story where every laundromat in town was telling us no. We were scrambling because we had all these orders and we had no idea how to do laundry and didn't know where to do laundry. Ken got on the phone with me, kind of coached me through it, and gave me all his SOPs and training protocols and everything. Since then, it's all been downhill. It's been rolling downhill fast. So he did a lot to help me. I find that I like in my free time to help folks. This delivery thing is exciting. I don't think it gets as much credit as it deserves. So when people want to talk about it, I love to pick up the phone and help and talk. So that was a big part of it. I see a lot of potential for the CLA. I think that the future is bright with laundry. I think delivery is a massive part of the future, and I'm excited to help with that. I think data and software and tech is an incredibly exciting part of the future for coin laundry in general. And I also think the relationship between the store owners and distributors and manufacturers is fascinating to me now. So I'm excited to see how all three can kind of work together to help plow forward.
Perfect. Well, do you have any specific goals for your term with the association, or just those general at this point?
Right now I'm learning. I am fresh in. I would hate to say something that's going to last on the internet forever. I've been taking notes in all of my calls. I've been meeting everybody. So I Generally speaking, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. I think there's incredibly smart people on the team there. But yeah, I don't necessarily have goals yet. I'm sitting in the back trying to soak it in and see where I can be most impactful. I know off the top of the head, this Wash, Dry, Fold conference coming up in Chicago is one of the things I'm most excited about. I can't always add a ton on how to build a laundromat or how certain machines work compared to others or how to run any plumbing projects, but I can really talk to you how to get some laundry done and how to manage systems to impress customers. So I'm really excited about that, and seeing just conferences dedicated to pickup and delivery is always exciting.
Right. You're referring to the CLA's Wash, Dry, Fold workshop, which is going to be held in November in Oak Brook, which is a Chicago suburb. And yeah, it's going to be Wash, Dry, Fold, pickup and delivery, as well as commercial laundry. So a lot of education there. What are you most interested to check out there or to get accomplished at that event?
Yeah, I know they're still working on the speaker lists and the speaker topics. I think what is interesting about this to me is because it's such a focused conference, we might be able to go a little deeper than the surface level, speakers or webinars or meetups that usually happen. So I'm excited about the depth in which we can go into. We're not trying to cover everything in a 4-day, everything laundry adjacent in a 4 to 5 day time span like clean, where it's almost too much to absorb. This to me is going to be highly focused. So we might be able to go a mile deep instead of an inch deep.
Right. Not like a clean show type event, but more niche based, obviously. So very good.
Yeah, and I mean it's the targeted spot for all the Wash, Dry, Fold operators to go. So I know the seminars are great and speeches are great, but I always tend to learn the most in the hallways or at the restaurant after. So I'm just excited to get around the like-minded folks who are chasing the same thing we are.
Right. Networking certainly will be on the agenda heavily, I'm sure. Hey, last one for you, Mark. And again, I know you're busy and I really appreciate your time today, but looking to the future, what do you see as the biggest opportunity or maybe some of the biggest opportunities for laundromat owners going forward?
Yeah, for me, it's delivery. That's the mountain we're climbing. That's the race we're running. That is what wakes us up in the morning and excites us. Everybody on our team, from me and my partners all the way down to the new employees that we just hired to start our first Sunday night shift this Sunday, right? Like everybody is getting taught that nobody knows how to do this. We're one of the people at the front of the race. Like we are trying to figure this out. Help us figure this out. That this is not something that exists like a McDonald's where you just do the same thing every day. This is something we're using everybody's help to try to build protocols and systems for the future. So that's what excites us and everybody at the company, including me. So there's a lot exciting going on in laundry. I think the franchise side of this is really exciting. I think the consolidation side of this is really exciting. I think the relationship between distributors and manufacturers is really exciting and what that is moving forward. But for me, it's blinders on, focus on delivery. Let's see how far we can get in the delivery space.
Perfect. It's a great place to leave it right there. Hey, Mark, thank you so much. I've had a pleasure chatting with you, and thank you so much.
Yeah, perfect. Talk soon.
Yep. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining us on our podcast today. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to Planet Laundry at PlanetLaundry.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube.